Excellent. Welcome to the TAD Summit online conference. I'm really happy to have Thibault here. Thibault, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Super good. Thanks for
And
asking.
we have a mutual friend with us, Rob Pickering. Rob, nice to see you. How are you?
I am good. Good to see you both again.
Excellent. So, really, the focus for today is an introduction to Thibault and all the cool stuff he's doing in voice AI, because he's really acting as a hub, bringing together lots of interesting companies that are working in this space to share their discoveries to help attract interest to the work that we're doing. And in fact, last week we had Enrico on, and he was talking around cybersecurity and its importance using AI to help enterprises be more secure, to be trained in how to deal with phishing attacks. So again, thank you, Thibault, for that introduction. But Thibault, please give us a little bit of background to yourself and what you've been getting up to.
Uh, okay, I'm gonna try to be concise. So my name is Thibault. Uh, I've done few stuff in life, events. I've tried to launch startup also. I've failed quite miserably a few times.
That's how we learn.
Yeah, exactly. I've got my scars. I'm like, what? The last unsuccess, I will put it like this. I've tried to launch a mobile app which was acting as a smart walkie-talkie for large events operation.
Mhm.
As I'm from the events industry, I spotted a pain point that we all know in the events industry. Lots of stuff to learn, many stuff to manage, and access to information is complicated. So my goal was literally to create a human-to-human communication system and a human-to-machine for like information retrieval, note taking, and live translation.
Mhm.
So we failed. We started way too early, I believe.
When was that?
I quit my job literally 2 years ago. So it was
Okay.
not way too early. It's not too early, but in terms of, we tested like most of the API were like the latency is bad. When they speak French,
Yes.
it's like the accent is worse than mine in English. It was speaking Canadian French, which is beautiful, but when you try to say it to French, they're like, no, no, no,
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
French.
Je suis.
Uh, Plus other few stuff, like we literally, I think, if I burned my saving, the developer I worked with, like, probably couldn't stand me anymore because I was asking him, like, hey, man, come on, let's improve this, and da da da. And so, but we decided to stop.
Mhm.
And you know how it is, like, when you work on something and you love it, you just wake up every morning, like, bah, you don't even think about the alarm. You wake up before your alarm.
Yeah.
Uh, and all of this came to an end. Wow, what I'm gonna do with my life? And I've learned a lot, and I'm the type of person who will stock everything. I had no TV as a child, so I had a large library
Yeah.
where, like, literally every book was in the right place. I kept this, and I'm doing it digitally in Notion. And Pedro Goes, the guy from Phonoster, said to me once, "Why don't you share this, man? Because it has lots of value." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know. Let me think about it, because if I share something, I don't want to do the usual growth hacking, crappy stuff where let me share with you a simple Google sheet, but you have to like, comment, and share my post on LinkedIn. I hate this, so I was like, let's be nicer than this. Let's build a proper website, learn how
Yep.
to do it properly using AI coding
Mhm.
and not Webflow or the classical CMS.
Yeah.
Uh, so did this. So I did my list of tools, startups, technology. Then I was like, yeah, it's nice, but why don't I add the news? And once the news were, I was like, why don't I add knowledge? Okay, so knowledge is here. And why don't I add, because if someone is interested about the product, the news, and the knowledge, he may want to find himself a job. So let's
Mhm.
add a job board. And if someone has a job in this industry, maybe he wants to network. So let's add an events section.
Yeah.
And then it was, okay, I want to keep going with my stupid idea, so I should find a place where I can put all the stuff that come to mind without being told you're diluting yourself. So I decided to create a small lab where literally I can do lots of stuff without the need of them becoming successful product or whatever, just experiments that I
Yeah.
share. Um, and voila. So
Yeah.
all of this for free. When I shared it, I was literally not expecting anything. and it worked quite well actually. We had like more than 10,000 visitors in 1 month and something.
Yep.
And I've got people sponsoring me. Like I call them my angel investors. Like all the people who are like helping us to maintain the website, because I need to make a living to keep doing this. I don't want to get back to a full-time normal job. I love this one.
Yeah.
So I've got like few brands who are like super nice and
Cool.
like supporting us. So I can't name all of them, but there's you can see their logo on my website, and I'm really thankful for like their help.
Yeah.
Voilà, I speak too much as usual.
No. This is
No.
we need to understand the background. So with your startup, when you were saying it was early, it was too early within the voice AI space, or too early within the sort of, I'm just trying to get a better handle around that.
I think it was a bit both. Adoption definitely from events, people will have been extremely complicated.
Yeah.
My ICP, as we name it, is not the most ready for AI. I just had a chat with Noah Shayer about it like this morning. He's doing cool stuff with the events industry and AI.
Cool.
I gave some demo to some really like super smart and cool people who are excited about the product. People from the events industry, Adam Parry being one of them, Dalia Algazar. So I'm doing name drop, but I'm really thankful to these people. So they supported me, but when I was doing my communication on LinkedIn and social, I could tell that no one really cared about it. So probably even if we reach out a level of like perfection on the product, maybe adoption will not follow.
Yeah.
And even in terms of product, we literally burn ourselves like testing, like because it was really the time like now it is, where it was like, there's this, and you're like, wow, I just like install this. Like, no, I need to go to this one, which is better. So let me switch to and this one, and it takes time to test, to refine. Voice has this magical side, which can be a nightmare, is that you need to test a lot yourself. You can't do like testing, automated testing, or at least not that I'm aware of. You need to like practice. You need to prompt yourself.
Yes.
So a mix of everything. But I probably think that now is the time. Probably if I want to start again, maybe like now or in 6 months will be the best time to launch this type of product. And there's something actually coming to the market.
Yep.
Quite similar to what I was doing.
Cool. Yeah. And of course, having French as one of the languages, you are making yourself especially hard, because that's like Karel from Voxist. He makes a living out of helping enterprises deal with the fact that French language can be quite difficult on some of these platforms from big names brands. So as a result, helps and just dealing with such practicalities.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like we are, and not only French. I think what he's doing is absolutely amazing. But English is
default.
It's default by default. So it can be quite tricky for.
Exactly. But if you're a French team running French events, then you really want it in French, because then everybody has the same,
Yeah. Except if it's speaking Canadian, which is I love accents, but like if you get named my chum or like something like this during your question, it's
yeah. No, absolutely. So as you're gathering all these people together around your website now, what's the name of your website?
The voiceaispace.com.
Yeah. So it's very easy, very obvious.
Yeah.
And we'll have the links there, absolutely. But it's, I think, it provides a very interesting place to just go and see what's happening. And I think, as you mentioned already, it's highly dynamic. There's a lot of bullshit, especially from the big brands. And that for me is what degrades the industry overall, because ridiculous claims, AI-led transformation or voice AI-led transformation. It's like, what do you mean by that? So interested from your perspective, all the companies you're seeing at the moment, what are some of the gems, the real interesting jewels that you're seeing emerge at the moment?
Uh, I think everyone is doing great. There's no doubt about it. Unfortunately, some marketing copy are a bit like bad for the industry, as you
Yes.
mentioned, because people fall into the trap and then they're like, it's not working. It's not that it's not working. It's maybe the promise is over, like is bigger than the reality.
Yes.
In terms of what I like, uh, Visher, as an example, is a really interesting product.
Yeah.
I love I'm still a founder actually. Uh, I really like to see small teams building great products
Yeah.
who are solving not only a problem but who have the style when they do it. You know, like when you come with style, and specifically at the age of AI, when anything can be coded in minutes, if you don't put a touch of uh, style in it, you lose like quite a lot. So like, I spoke to it. I'm doing a newsletter. Like, unfortunately, I'm sometimes too busy to have like the regularity on it. So I missed it this weekend, but I'm gonna do it like tomorrow, after tomorrow.
Hmm.
Daily, a friend,
Yes.
Lachlan, a British gentleman who is doing something. I love the design. The experience itself is great. He's like on his own to build this, and it's really cool. Victor, I'm looking at like even today. I literally got few tools open. Like I discovered one which is not that new actually. I installed it on my phone and tested it this morning. It's like super interesting. I love the promise of it. Uh, Let me find the name. ASH.
Hmm.
It's a like extremely well-funded company. Was launched. It's not a psychotherapist, but like it's something to help people who are in the need of
Yes.
emotional support.
Yes.
And I
And
found this. Well,
oh yeah.
I found
No.
this like anything which is educational, supportive, can bring value in terms of bringing education or medicine to large scale. In my opinion, is definitely like worth looking into it.
Yes.
Will probably be way more impactful than the marketing copy. You know, like this is the kind of stuff I love to look at.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
And actually, at TAD Hack, several of the hacks were using voice AI. So it was built on top of Telnix and was focusing squarely on, stress management, emotional
ouais,
support. Now, they tended to be more in developed nations, while, because we have people hacking all around the world. While voice AI was also used, for example, in Africa to give people access to resources, to grants. So it's interesting to see how people use voice AI to solve or to help facilitate different types of problems in different areas of the world. And of course, with all the stress and issues, naturally, in developed markets, there's more a focus on mental health, while it's more just getting access to resources to survive, well, not survive, but to help you grow your business or your charity, or just understand how do we enable this to get to market. So that I
ouais.
thought was a very powerful piece. So, where are you wanting to take your site? What are some of the things you're trying to do? Is it just get more eyeballs in? I'm just, where are you going?
It's a good question, to be honest. As I started with no business plan in mind, literally it was just like pure will of like helping at least one person. It's a bit tricky. So like I think I'm building as I go.
Yeah.
My next big iteration, if I can name it like this, is to have like experience made by companies that I can host on a specific page where people can go test and access to the open source repo, copy and paste,
Okay.
and play with it.
Cool.
That's I'm literally like I'm going back to my website. I finished my events website, and now I'm going back to this to like the original voice AI space to like add this layer. Education also. Like if I can, tutorial is like new ways to do tutorial, because there's I believe some really like interesting new ways to do tutorial who are like way better than Google all the, let me spend like 15 minutes reading something. So yeah, no, educational basically. What I love about this website is literally my goal is to say, if at least one person can get passionate as much as I've been, learn, get himself a job and feed someone in his family with it, like I will be honestly, that's the most rewarding. That's my exit.
Yeah.
That's my exit strategy. Help like at least one person.
That's it. Make a difference, because absolutely using the AI capabilities to help people in asking questions and getting up to speed in using a particular tool. Because I think where we're at is there's lots of interesting tools, but I think we're at that integration phase where there's no tool that's complete. Everybody's using, voice AI to solve a specific problem, and constraining it so it works well, rather than, we can use voice AI for, transformation, business transformation. And it's like, no, that's bullshit. I think there's too much BS out there, but you can, for example, if it's a small, medium business that's missing, or it's missing leads coming in from all these calls, all the spam, all the rest, and you can provide them with a very easy tool that just captures that lead and maybe even answers some basic questions. So you've got some basic qualification. So at the end of the day, when that small business owner is reviewing, maybe 5, 6, 7 calls, they're actually, qualified, and they can respond and get business flowing through because all the spam's been removed. They know roughly what, the proposition is and how relevant it is. And they've even got a meeting for the following day scheduled so that they can have a live person-to-person conversation. Because it doesn't matter what we say about, AI-led transformation, it's still about people connecting.
Yeah, definitely. Right. That was like on my, when I worked on the events like Smart Walkie Talkie, it was all about this. Me as an events manager, I remember myself not having any time for like speaking to the staff or even to my clients.
Yeah.
Like, you can't imagine this, but I was literally running around like headless chicken, solving stuff, answering questions, and repeating again.
Yeah.
Definitely, AI has this magical touch of it. It's like it's information on a tray.
Yes.
And the tray is accessible to all.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Now, Rob, you've been quiet. So picking on you, I'm just, because the thing I love with the work that you do is you work with lots of startups. You work with some big companies and helping them realize what some of the, shall we say, the marketing department, has communicated stuff, and then you actually help them at making it a reality, or at least taking what they've said and showing, well, we can do this part really well and help your customers. So just interested in what you're seeing out there at the moment in the whole voice AI space.
Yeah, I mean, it's super interesting at the moment, isn't it? And the reason that I'm quite interested in what Thibault is doing with the voice space is that, there's this kind of dynamic with the industry that you go back 2.5 years when we were kind of putting stuff together from, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did a bit of, speech to text, and then a text LLM, and then text to speech out the back end, and hey, isn't this cool? It's relatively easy to kind of build this stuff out of nothing, and that, but the whole marketplace has evolved over the last 2 years.
Yes,
and now we have an absolute slew of horizontal players, right?
Yes.
So every week there's a new announcement of someone else who's come into the market with a set of tools to use in the space. So there's a good reason for that. That this space is going to become very economically important. It's going to become very societally important, because talking to AI in the same way we talk to humans, so that we kind of like we approach that level of sophistication. Not sure we'll ever get there, but as we approach that level of sophistication, that ability to scale interactions
Yes.
with organizations, business models, with social services that we want to use, it practically infinitely is going to be, transformational. There are a limited number of people that I can get to talk to right now, but if I can talk to an agent of all of the kind of enterprises and all the organizations I want to talk to immediately and in a cogent way without the wait and all the rest of it, then that's going to be transformational. So everyone's flooding into this space. Absolute slew of horizontal tools. Some of them are differentiated, some of them less so. But I think there's a little bit of a disconnect from all the horizontal stuff that the VCs are piling money into, and the people actually building these vertical applications that add a ton of value. And I love the way, the thing about the voice space is that it's a place for people to talk about this stuff. It's a place for some of the early practitioners who've kind of figured out how to do this and are doing it on various scales, to share some of that best practice, share some of those techniques, and figure out how to use some of this horizontal stuff. Some of it does a job that needs doing. Some of it is a bit me too, and it only has relevance to the extent people are building apps on it, and they're building it at scale that allow kind of transformational interactions. So that's my take on what's going on. There are like a million vertical applications that haven't been built yet. Us folks that are building technology need to kind of enable that and accelerate the folks who are doing that.
No, I fully agree. And that's the thing I love about, again, I apologize, TATAC with VCon, which is one of the sponsors, and how they're helping the hackers who start building out those initial applications specific to either the problem that, they hack or relate, it's like, well, we really could do with something built in this space. And then because they got the knives and forks and they can basically sort of craft this and then building stuff. So I think we really are in an early stage where you're right. We've got all these horizontal applications and a lot of claims around it. I mean, it is what it is. But I think taking those technologies and sometimes mashing them up, especially when they're open source, I think that's what I love where we are. There's so many open source tools and helping people access those open source tools as easy as possible so they can build something, hack it together, solve that problem and get it to the point whereby it's good enough for their particular application. Because they're all around the world. And we've got people in Nigeria, in Kenya that are building stuff and working with organizations and, having, again, it's that sort of democratization that we've always sort of, talked about in having those people working in different parts of the world that understand how to use a particular voice AI engine, how can basically provide all the compliance, through using sort of VCon, rather than having to do something proprietary, because that then enables them to stand on the shoulders of giants that are working within the VCon community. So I look at it as it's a very exciting, dynamic time. There is a lot of BS out there, unfortunately, but also I feel it really is, it's beyond where we were with the web, in that it's not just a significant open source component. There are so many more communities now that are out there that are able to harness these. And rather than it being, it's Bay Area, it's a group, you have to be based out in San Francisco. It's now groups popping up all around the world, whether it's in Paris, whether it's in London, whether it's in Nairobi. It's great to see all these communities popping up and solving problems for their local communities in a way that we never really saw to the same extent when the web was born. So it may all get consolidated down into a few companies. Who can predict the future? Nobody can. But it is, I think, an exciting time, and that's why I think the work that Thibault's doing is so important in bringing everybody together to just understand, learn, share, and hopefully make a difference in their particular community.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, actually, and the point you make about open source and open standards like VCon
Yes.
is kind of supremely important, and I think it becomes more important actually for kind of scalability and best practice. I have this theory that what's kind of happened over all these waves, having been around for the internet wave, and then the internet telephony wave,
mobile, and yeah.
Is that the pace of change is accelerating because these ideas can spread around the world so much more quickly. So the internet kind of arrived, and it took us a little while to scratch our heads and figure out what we could do with it. And then next thing you're driving down Highway 101 and the URLs on street boards, and you think, wow, this is actually a thing, right? It's not each wave we've been through, and then SIP kind of came along, and it was like, we can do the telephony over the internet, and it kind of took 5 or 10 years for that to actually be a thing. And WebRTC hit, and that took 2 or 3 years before it kind of took over video conferencing. And I think kind of voice AI has been much more compressed. The very first applications of this stuff, there was the old NLU stuff, but the very first applications of LLM on the internet were like 2 years ago.
Correct.
And we're now at a point where we've got this big explosion, and so the rate at which our imagination is picking up on this stuff is accelerating. But I think that's also having us become more fragmented, and we're tending to kind of not pull in all the relevant technology. I'm working in the voice AI space, but I spend more of my time working with Kama Elio and Jambo, because actually those things are actually more relevant to the voice AI space than the tiny amount of stuff that's going on in foundation models that
exactly.
That we're talking to.
So,
pulling all this stuff together and attempting to do best practice at scale to deliver real sort of usable stuff at the pace at which we're adopting it is the kind of challenge. And open source, open standards, and people who are willing to just say, I've solved this problem, but I want to kind of give this to the world, not just kind of keep it to myself, is actually how we make the whole industry better.
I agree. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Rob. So Thibault, any final comments? I know it's hard to finish after Rob. I know.
Yeah, no, definitely. And no. The final comments is I hope we will never have any final comments on this beautiful voice AI explosion. I hope someone will explode into this. People who are doing phishing, spammer, France, we start to get it quite a lot also.
Yeah.
It's super annoying, and I want to thank you because there's few people in the ecosystem who keep pointing this problem, which will, I believe, impact the entire ecosystem.
Yes.
So thank you for raising your voice, saying hey, don't do this.
It's just moral behavior, and it's it's business. Doesn't matter. It's business. No, absolutely not. If you're basically trying to steal from my grandmother, no, absolutely, that is wholly unacceptable. Yeah.
No, I do agree. But on this particular topic, which is kind of ethics, it's not. I don't like this word because we use it too much in French, and it became a marketing word. Everything is ethics now.
Yeah.
As an example who come from, my father was from Syria. I think everyone know what happened to Syria. It's an entire country was to be rebuilt. The educational system has to start from scratch again. I'm really hopeful to have specifically the big player who are making enough revenue to be launching initiative foundation or stuff. And I'm really hopeful that at some point some kind of not a universal basic income, but a universal access to knowledge and medicine will be available to all.
Yes.
Thanks to the profit that some are making.
I agree.
And this is how technology will change the world in a positive way, and not only make a few richer who will be able to fly to Mars.
Exactly. Which is a completely pointless exercise anyway. But
no. I'm happy for some to go to Mars.
I know.
Some deserve to go to Mars.
Exactly. It's just send a robot. You don't need to send people there. But anyway, Thibault, this has been great. I'm really, looking forward to a fruitful partnership over the years as we help
Ouais.
bring more and more people together and understanding all the capabilities that are available through voice AI. And Rob, thanks for joining us. This was fun, and wish both of you the best of luck in over the rest of the year.
Thanks, Thibault. Thanks, Alan. Speak to you all soon. Bye now.